All right, everybody, welcome back. Buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into the world of GitHub.
Yeah, GitHub.
So for anyone who's ever, tried to wrangle a project with friends, maybe build a website together, or even just share a document.
Oh, tell me about it.
You probably know that feeling when versions get out of control.
Right, like final V3 John said it's the worst.
The worst, and then you're like, wait, whose changes are these? It's enough to make you tear your hair out.
Seriously.
Well, good news, everyone. Today's deep dive is all about how to conquer that chaos. We're talking about GitHub.
Yeah, and the great thing is you don't need to be a coding whiz to use it or to appreciate, frankly, how powerful it is.
Absolutely. So let's unravel this whole GitHub thing. What is it and where did it even come from?
Okay, so the story of GitHub starts with this thing called version control.
Okay, version control. Sounds kind of techie.
It is a bit, but at its heart, it's super simple. Imagine a time machine, right? But for your code, your design files, whatever digital project you're working on.
Like a digital paper trail.
Exactly. You can rewind to any previous version, see exactly who changed what, when, and even why. That's the magic of version control.
And that's what GitHub does.
Well, GitHub is built on this amazing system called Git, which is like the engine of version control. Git itself is incredibly powerful, but it can be, a little bit complex to use directly.
So GitHub makes it easier.
Exactly. GitHub is like this user-friendly layer on top of Git.
Gotcha. So it takes all the power of Git and makes it accessible to, regular folks like me.
Absolutely. It's like, think of Git as this like foreign language, right, that only developers speak. GitHub comes along and translates it into something everyone can understand and use.
Right, because you've got all these collaboration features built in.
Yeah. And that's where GitHub really shines, because it's not just about tracking changes. It's about working better together.
Like, what kind of collaboration tools are we talking about?
So one of the coolest things is this thing called a pull request. I know it sounds a little jargony, but...
It does?
Yeah, but really it's just a structured way to propose changes to a project. Like, let's say you're working on a website with the team. Instead of emailing files back and forth with everyone making their own edits.
Oh, the chaos.
Right. With a pull request, you can submit your changes. They're all neatly packaged. Everyone can see them, comment on them, suggest improvements.
So it's like a built-in feedback system.
Exactly. It makes collaboration so much smoother.
Okay, so pull requests, that's one. What else?
Another awesome feature is the issue tracker.
Issue tracker.
Yeah, so it's like having a to-do list for your project, but on steroids.
Okay.
You can create issues for bugs that need fixing, features you want to add, design tweaks, whatever, and then you can assign those issues to different people on your team.
So it keeps everyone on track and organized.
Precisely. And then there's this whole other level where you can actually start automating parts of your workflow using GitHub.
Automation. Music to my ears. Tell me more about that.
So we're getting a little more into the weeds here, but GitHub has this incredible capacity for what's called CI/CD, continuous integration, and continuous deployment.
Catchy.
Right. But in a nutshell, it means you can automate the process of taking your code and turning it into like a live website or an app update all through GitHub.
Whoa. So you mean like instead of having to manually upload every little change, GitHub can do it all automatically in the background?
You got it. It's pretty amazing.
That's insane. It sounds like GitHub can do like everything.
Yeah.
But is it too much for someone just starting out?
That's the best part. GitHub might seem intimidating at first, what with all these features and technical terms, but honestly, it's surprisingly beginner-friendly.
Okay, good to know.
And GitHub itself has a ton of resources to help you get started. Tutorials, documentation, you name it.
So even if you're not like a coding guru,
Yep.
you can still dive in and figure it out.
Exactly. And the thing is, even if you're working on small personal projects, just getting familiar with GitHub, getting into the habit of using version control, it's such a valuable skill to have.
It's like learning a new language, but this language can help you build anything.
That's a great way to put it.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty pumped about GitHub right now.
Me too.
To everyone listening, if you're even the slightest bit curious, I highly encourage you to go check it out. This deep dive was really just a glimpse into what GitHub can do.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And who knows? You might just discover your next favorite tool. All right, everyone, that's it for today's deep dive. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. Until next time.